I'm Damian Barr and I'm delighted to be at the Murillo for Wordplay talking about my novel, You Will Be Safe Here. This is the paperback edition and it's my first event tonight for the edition because it was cancelled because of COVID, so I'm delighted to be here. This is the prologue. The book is set in two timelines. The first bit is in 1900 during the Second Boer War, and the second bit is closer to the present day, and they're both set in South Africa. And it's a story about how the past affects the present and about the opportunities for redemption that exist in love. So this is the beginning, and it's a diary of a woman called Sarah. And it begins like all diaries on the 1st of January. We know they are coming. We've watched the smoke rise for 2 weeks now, knowing they will soon be at our gates, the gates you promised to finish whitewashing when you returned. All day, every day, tidy pillars billow straight up into the summer sky. No breeze dares bother them. Day by day, farm by farm, the English draw closer. Even on Christmas morning we woke to smoke spooling across the sky like wool waiting to be wound. It cleared as you said prayers and we sat down to lunch. The Creels are only 6 miles east, and when their big red barn goes up, the barn it took 20 men a winter to build, it'll be us next. The chair I'm sitting on, every berry ripening on the tree outside the window, every fruit, every tree, they will all go. I still struggle to believe the news that reaches even our half-painted gates. Soon, everything we've built in our 10 years here will be gone. I've taken to rising even earlier so I can wander our 5 rooms alone. Remember when we had just one? I blink hard and press my eyelids together to engrave it all where I can always see it. I hope you remember it too, Samuel. I've often embarked on a diary with the new year and found my thoughts ran out long before the pages, but I'm resolved to keep at this. I'm setting these words down for us and for Fred. He's outside bothering Letty, who is calling, so I must go in a minute. I'm writing at our kitchen table where we sat and prayed and talked and laughed and worried all these marriage years. Every evening after dinner you tapped your pipe out and it left little scorches. Now I run my fingers over the marks, regretting every tut. I'll read this to you when you return victorious. Our cause is just. God will preserve you, Samuel. Remember Psalm 110, the Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. That day is coming. Now, I must go and see what Letty wants. So that's from the beginning of the story, and this is a really short bit from later on. There's a boy called Willem. He is growing up in the 1990s. He doesn't fit in, he prefers books to sport. He's quite soft, according to the people around him, and so his parents send him to a camp which promises to make men out of boys, and it's run by former soldiers, and it's based on real camps that exist in South Africa now, and it was the contemporary story that led me to the past. So this is a bit about what happens that first night that Willem is in the camp. That first night, Willem feels famous. Everybody calls him Brand, claps him on the back. Hey, hey, how's it, Brand? He's never really noticed how strong his second name is. He can be Brand now, he thinks, sitting up straight around the fire with all the other boys who left their first names outside the fence. The camp is smaller than he'd imagined. Ahead sag 2 rows of tents like the ones in that museum in Bloemfontein, cream canvas worn and patched with years of scraps. Dragonflies, F-16 across a man-made pond, and next to this rises a giant cotton bud flagpole. Willem recognises the red, white and black flag from Jan's library. Past this is a low concrete sty of big dirty pigs. Some busy white chickens bustle around, but there are no other animals, not even an ostrich. So much for this place being a conservation camp. In the centre stands a guard tower covered in the same camouflage netting that's draped over the 15-foot barbed wire fence. Who are these people watching for? Looking through the flames at the other cadets, it's clear nobody in here was getting picked for any teams out there, except maybe Volker. Corporal stripes adorn this boy's shoulders, making him their commanding officer. One boy is so tall and thin he looks like a folded razor. Spreading next to him is his opposite. Several have taped earlobes covering piercings, and even Volker has a tattoo peeking from his sleeve, black tendrils clipping down his arm. We should all still be at school, Willem realises. We're all problems, here to get fixed. He doubts any of them had a buzz cut before. He wonders when his own curls will come off. He's never liked him, threatened him with scissors 100 times, but his ma always pleaded, maybe he'll move faster without them. In this place, William is suddenly average, maybe even slightly above average, and it feels glorious.